Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I am so excited today because we have our very first guest who is joining us today, where we're going to be talking about their business journey, why they're excited to be a Class Business sponsor partner with us. But before we dive in and me spilling all the beans, let them introduce themselves. First of all, come on in, let's see who you are.
Hi, Chrissy. My name's Rose, and I am the founder and director of the national brand Baby Beats.
So, Baby Beats, what does Baby Beats do and where do you do it?
So we provide classes right from pregnancy, postnatal classes to support mum and baby. So we're looking at women's well-being. So after they've had baby, we focus on baby's development. So yoga, massage, sensory play, but then also women as well, because we are so important in this journey. After you've had this lovely bundle of joy and everybody's so excited about the baby, we want to not forget about the woman as well. The woman underneath who's just delivered and been pregnant. So we support women's bodies. We look at postnatal health, we look at pelvic floor, we look at restabilising the body, we look at how they are mentally as well. We provide not-for-profit events, we provide walks, we've got children's yoga classes, we've got adults classes, everything that a woman needs basically from when she becomes a mum.
Oh, that's so cool. So how did the business start then? So how did you come up with the idea?
Oh, completely accidentally. So my whole business journey is always accidental. So I had my first daughter, she's nearly 15, so 15 years ago. And I was teaching yoga, fitness professional. I rocked up to a yoga class and I had my Lycra on and I was so excited and I was ready to do something for me. And I went to this baby yoga class, envisioning in my head that I was going to be doing some downward dogs. I was going to be doing some stretching. I was going to be doing something and feeling really refreshed after. And we did a little bit of singing. And the group was very cliquey. They were, I was 21, so I was very young compared to a lot of the other mums in the room. Everyone was very cliquey. It wasn't what I thought it was at all. And it was my expectations that were just totally out of this space. And I was just so disappointed, I think. And it wasn't that it was a bad class. It just wasn't what I'd expected. And sort of I went to a few different things and I never really found my tribe of women. I never really found my place. And then I had my son a few years after, and again, the same thing happened. I was like, there must be more. There must be something for me. There's nothing in this space that's supporting women. There's pure fitness classes, but I didn't want to just put my son in the middle of the room under a play mat and just exercise. And I sort of almost felt a bit guilty because I was then not engaging with him for that amount of time. So I started to develop the concept of actually, let's bring it all together. Let's support women's bodies. Let's support what they need, but also incorporate baby in everything. Let's teach children that we need to exercise and move together. It's not something that just mum and dad do, and I don't. I sit at home or I do something else. It's something that actually families can do together. And I started trialing it over a number of years. I got really, really busy classes where I founded it in Wakefield to a point of where they were just bursting, fully booked every single term. And hazard of the job, being around babies all day, every day, I got really broody. And then I got pregnant with my third. And at this point, I sat back and went, what do I do? This business I've built up is bringing in really great money. I don't want to stop it. And I had another teacher that was working actually on reception, and she said, well, will you train me up? So I created the program. I got the program endorsed. I did my own teacher training qualifications while I was pregnant, and I had 2 small children. I then had somebody else contact me and say, I want to teach this. And the program just developed over time, and it naturally evolved into what it is now. We had more and more women going, how do I get involved in this? I want to start doing it. I've seen the success of these classes. When COVID hit, we then started developing our toddler sessions because we had schools that were coming to us going, we need something for children. So we developed our Mindful Movers program, which is all about children, movement, space, making shapes, enjoying how their body's moving, understanding how their body's moving and how that makes the brain feel as well. And then again, the natural progression from that is that we had adult classes, and they came from the women that came to Baby Beats. And when the babies were too old, they were like, what is the next? What can we do? So we created the adult classes.
So, okay, so you obviously running the business you were pregnant with your first, so you had 2 small children.
Yeah.
I can only imagine you were probably like similar to me, working all the hours, trying to fit in stuff in between naps and everything else. So when did you decide that franchising was the route for you and not just growing a team of teachers?
So we actually started it on a licensing model.
Okay.
I think that was 2018 that we tried that. And for us, it didn't work because we lost control of our brand ethos, and we're all about supporting women, and we want to have a really strong brand voice. We're all about the power of women and the power of, pulling each other together. And we were sort of losing that with the license model, that we didn't have any control over the language that was being used, and what was being put out there. So we decided to look at the franchising side. We launched that in 2020. It was about 5 days before COVID hit. So it wasn't the ideal time. We didn't know that was going to happen. So we actually officially started franchising in 2021.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, like I do say this to class business owners, look at different options, licensing and franchising. And yeah, with licensing, you do lose like the control over how people can use your brand. Hence, like if you want the brand control, then you go for the franchise option. And so you've been growing the team for the last, what we're on, the 5 years into year 6 at the minute. What's the size of the network at the moment?
So we've got 16 locations at the moment, and then we've got 2 more locations that are just about to launch as well.
Cool. So we got 18 in place coming through, and obviously your role has changed. I know you still deliver sessions yourself, but your role as a franchisor changed. What did you notice about the shift there? Because I noticed it massively when I was a franchisor and then I had to step into like the CEO role basically and lead a team. It's a massive shift in mindset and in obviously the workload.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I only run 4 sessions at the moment. So I only run 2 evenings a week and then one on a morning. So that's massively reduced. I feel like I need to do that side to keep my own sanity as well, to keep myself fresh as well. But I think it's doing a lot of work on yourself, because you don't necessarily step into this role thinking that is what you're going to do. I started it because I wanted to be around women and I wanted to be around babies and I wanted to be in that supportive atmosphere, not necessarily to be, the director of a company. So it's navigating that, and it's just understanding how I work as well, and learning that a big, massive learning thing was for learning how other people work, because naively I always expect everyone to work the same as me, and they don't. And that's been quite a journey to kind of go on, and it's been a bit of a journey of self-discovery, I think.
Yeah, I think when you're building a team, I think one of the highlights of building the team, and what was a turn point for me, and what you'll feel proud of when you see it, and obviously you are seeing it, is that when you bring a franchisee on board and they actually do a better job than you.
Yeah,
that's what I noticed with my events that I used to run. I'd be like, wow, like they're actually better than me, and that means I've got the business model right and everything else right, and you feel proud about that when you've hit that moment.
Yeah, definitely. And it's getting them all together as well. It was so nice, especially being I've worked on my own for so many years, but bringing everyone together in an in-person event and seeing all these women together, it was really powerful. I was like that, they're all running their own businesses, but they've all got each other, which was something that, I never had. And to have that, I was like, this is what I needed. This is what I wanted.
It's pretty awesome when you build that whole network and the team comes, and then you see all your vision come to life, and you're seeing them all out delivering like your brand. It is a moment to stop and pause and go like, wow, what an achievement. And one of the things, obviously, we came across each other. I think when you did the Purple Cow event with us, like the Purple Cow marketing and sales event, and obviously I've been following your journey for the last year. And what I really like about what you're doing is you've really accelerated personal brand. Like, I feel like you've really turned the key in personal brand for the last year. Tell everybody, what work have you done? Because I'm a big believer, and I've been telling everyone for a long time, which is why I wrote a book on it, like how to, market like a pop star, build your personal brand. But particularly in 2026, Personal brand is everything. And if people hiding behind logos, I just don't think it's going to cut it anymore. So tell people what did you do in 2025? Because I think like literally you switched on and were like, right, I need to build my personal brand.
Yeah, the light bulb moment for me was definitely when I launched an online membership that I sat back and I had all these people that signed up straight away. That I had an influx of people that signed up. And I sat back and looked at it and went, why did that happen? Because they could do this. They could follow people on YouTube for free. They could do all these things for free. And it was such a moment that I'm like, it's me. And they're following it because they want my expertise. They like me. They trust me. They understand how I work. And they're investing their money into me. And that for me was definitely a moment when I went, I'm all in on personal brand. I'm all in on delivering this. And even to a point of when we speak to franchisees and we do interviews with them and we'll say, what was it? What brought you on board with us? What resonated with you? And they were like, oh, it was you. And I think that was a point where I was like, okay, this is where we need to focus. This is how we need to build this. And do you know what? It's also a lot easier. Like, it's so much easier than creating like Canva graphics that we used to do years ago. I can just hold my phone up and talk into it. And I did a post this morning. We've got temporary traffic lights. I wasn't driving, so nothing illegal, but we've got temporary traffic lights and they're 6-way and you sat there for ages. And I literally did a 2-minute video, not even 2 minutes, I think it was about 10 seconds. And I was like, just a reminder that class is at 15 minutes earlier today. I'll see you there. Can't wait. And that was it. And it's just so easy to get that out there. And then I had so many comments on, can't wait to see you. Looking forward to seeing you. Happy New Year. So it was that light bulb moment that when people are investing in me, they're investing in my brand, they're investing in what I believe in, and it resonates with them.
And yeah, and I totally agree. This is what I've been telling class providers all the time. Like literally, I was like, content will resonate if you tell your story. And if you tell your story, they're going to come on a journey with you. And that's something I think is definitely missing from class providers' content right now. I did an audit last night in a group of 10 business owners. And I was like, all you're doing is advert, 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 advert. There's no storytelling here. There's no credibility. You're not taking people on a journey with you. All you're doing is telling them that you've got places available. Join the club with every other provider.
Yeah. And I mean, the amount of times I've told my story, I mean, we've done so many podcasts, so many interviews recently, and to a point of where I'm not sick of saying the same story, but you tell the same story over and over again, but that's what resonates with people. And just because you've told it once doesn't mean you can't tell it to someone else's audience or someone else's audience. So it's just still putting yourself out there in every opportunity, whatever story it is you've got to give.
It's available. So last year, obviously, big input into visibility. In like you said, doing lots of podcasts. You also wrote a book and launched a book. So tell everyone about your book.
Oh, the craziest journey ever. So again, it's completely accidental. Like, I feel like everything in my adult life is completely accidental. It was a number of freebies that we'd created basically to support women. And this is from speaking to women that were friends, that were in classes, when I was going to watch other teachers teaching, when I'd speak to the women, little problems that were coming up, little phrases that maybe they would say. And I was thinking, right, okay, how can I help them with this? How can I give them a little bit of a tidbit to know that they're not alone in this journey? So I started creating these little freebies that we would give out as lead magnets. And honestly, the impact that had and the feedback that we had, that were like, oh my God, I love this. Could you do me one on this? And I started to put them together, and I actually sent them to a friend and I said, can you just read through this? Like, what do you think? If I put this together as a book and I create some more, do you think, is it worth doing? I've got diagnosed as being dyslexic when I was younger, and it was never something in my realms of possibility that I ever thought ever would write or publish or do anything like that. And she was like, I love it. She's like, I absolutely love it. She's like, you need to do one about this. Can you add one about feeding? Can you add one about this? And then once my mind started going, I was like, right, okay, I almost stepped into, I can just imagine, like, I felt like I just stepped into the power And I was like, I'm going to do this for every woman who's had a baby and felt completely alone. And I just blurted out, and it was like therapy. I blurted out everything from, women's roles and how we're seen and how we're treated after we've had a baby and our role in the workplace. And I almost just ranted it all onto paper, and then thought, okay, now I need to pull it back a little bit and, make it into something that's really usable. It's got journaling pages. It's going to be helpful for women. And then, we launched it in October. And again, going back to kind of audience building, I was chatting to another author who'd published his book at the same time, and he said that he'd sold, I think, about 4 copies, and you couldn't publish a book in this day and age unless you had a huge marketing budget. And when I told him that I hadn't spent 1 penny on marketing for my book and we got Amazon bestseller, he was like, "You are joking, right?" And I said, "No." I said, "I haven't spent 1 penny." I said, "But what I've spent is my time and my energy, and I've got it out there. I've built an audience. I launched it at a time that I felt was right for us. And, it's done really well. It's still doing really well. We've still got influencers out there that are promoting it. It's been a very exciting journey, but it is, again, it's like you've got to build that authority within the industry to make an impact.
Oh no, it's amazing. And everybody's got a book in them. No. They have, and I'm the same as you. I launched my book, Market Like a Pop Star, Build Your Personal Brand. And again, I was like, writing for toffee, I was like, oh my Lord, I've never done anything like this before. Is it possible? And I believe everyone does have a book in them. They have got the knowledge. It does take a bit of dedication though to write the thing, commitment, but then in the editing and pulling it all together and then launching it. But it is a business asset. And once you've got it, you have got that authority piece, and obviously you can talk on stage and interview for podcasts all about it, and obviously a very useful resource for your audience. So I know obviously we launched a book, and then off the back of that, I also know you've been doing lots of PR work. So tell us about the PR that you've got for the business.
So it goes back to what you were saying about storytelling, really. So everybody, I believe, has got a story in them, whether they think their story is interesting or not. Everybody's got an opinion. It's been bold enough to put that opinion out there that might feel a little bit scary at times, to go, this is what I think, but I don't dare say it. I talk a lot about women in business, women starting up businesses, how women are treated after they have had children, how they're expected to go back to work like they don't have children. I'm quite opinionated on that. And I think that has enabled me to get into more publications, to get interviewed. We were recently in another one as an expert contributor for The Stylist, and that was really good. And that was all about getting women back into the workspace, and how, especially things, topical stuff. So the new childcare hours that have come out, how that's impacting women, because we all, we're like, oh, great, the government are giving everybody money for childcare. But actually, what impact is that having on women? Do they feel like they are pushed back into work? So having that multi-level visibility strategy of going, yes, I'm going to do the personal branding on social media. Yes, we're doing paid ads. Yes, we're doing everything else that we should be doing, but actually having the other elements to get us known, so that we are seen with authority across, print. We're on podcasts. We've been doing YouTube shows, basically anything that we can to talk about the brand to get us out there.
It's been amazing watching what you've been building over 2025, and obviously we're going into 2026. And I'm building the Class Business Awards, which is the first UK platform for class business owners. And I was so excited that you decided to come on board the adventure with me to sponsor the Rising Star Award. So what excites you about being part of the awards?
Oh, I just think it's so needed. I think it's needed, and especially with the way that you're doing it, that it's on a panel as well, because we've done awards before, and it's one that we kind of dip our toe in, and we're like, oh, have a little, we'll try these. But a lot of the time it can be a popularity contest. Who knows the most people? Who can get the most votes in? And I love the fact that you were doing it on a panel, because it's, people can be really, they can showcase what they're doing and not just how many people that they know. So that was really exciting. I think it's a sector that needs a boost, especially with things like the childcare hours coming in, and meaning that there's not as many children in the children's sector. that are available to come to classes. So I do think that the sector needs that. It needs that celebration of we are actually doing amazing work, and let's keep going at that. We can keep going at that. So it's just so exciting.
Yeah, you're totally right there, because I was like, one of the things I want to do is spotlight the sector for the impact it has on local communities for a start off, and the economy as well, because without classes, everyone goes to something. They might be putting their children through classes. Like my daughter goes to Stagecoach. They've been through numerous classes as they've gone through the years. And as adults, you may go to your fitness classes like yourself. So recognizing what providers do is something that I was really, really keen to do, and obviously make sure that they're celebrated and that we spotlight throughout the whole year. And this is why we're having this conversation now, and we'll be doing this throughout the whole 12-month period. I'm interested to know, Rose, what classes did you go to when you were a child?
Oh, I would have gone to everything if I was allowed. But I was allowed I had just the dance side of things. So did a few little dance classes, had my little crew, but I would have gone to everything if I could have done. You signed me up for aerobics and acro and everything. Get me there.
And what classes have your children gone to?
So my older two, they do rugby. They're the outdoor ones, so that's their dad's side. I'm not the one to stand on the sidelines. That he takes over that side. But my youngest does gymnastics, so that's an indoor sport that I can partake in.
So they're you're a very sporty family, obviously led by you two as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, isn't it? There's so many opportunities out there for people, like the baby classes, the toddler classes, the under fives, then they move through to the children's sector, then the teens, and then obviously adults. There's so much provision out there that everyone could do a class in anything if they want to really obviously learn a new skill and stuff. Okay, so you've done so much work over the last 12 months in terms of PR, writing a book, building a personal brand. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to a class business owner in 2026?
I would say to really look at your audience, really look at what you are bringing to your audience. So your ideal client, what is your story and how is your story going to resonate with them? Really look at it and see whether everyone thinks their own story is not as important as someone else's story. So actually look at it, look at your beliefs, look at why you started it, look at your core values, again, something I talk a lot about. And that will resonate with the people who are in your community, the people that you're trying to attract back to you.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I mean, that's so valuable, because I feel like this year, I feel like this is what providers need to be doing, is really honing in what their mission, vision, values are, and how they're going to connect with their audience, and how they're going to, like you said, bring people into the world, instead of just putting out things like content or emails or whatever it is just for the sake of it. I feel like they just need to take a step back. The era of shouty, noisy marketing is going, and there's the new eras coming in where people want long form content, connection. They want to get to know the business owner so they can then make those informed decisions about joining their programs and classes, etc. So I feel it's so valuable. Thank you so much for your time today, Rose. It's been amazing to hear your story. Cannot wait to see you at the Class Business Awards on the 10th of October at the National Conference Centre. And we are hosting a whole series of interviews this year. We're interviewing all our sponsor partners. We're going to interview the nominees. We're going to interview the judges. We're going to interview the finalists. So it's going to be a whole year of storytelling. So thank you so much for kicking off the first story. And if you are watching this on YouTube with us, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, and go and connect with Rose. Afterwards, I will put the links in to go and follow her, to go and connect with her, and to her book as well, so you can go and check that out. But thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you on the next episode.